Greetings, students, and once again, I want to welcome you to our YouTube class. And in today's class, we are going to be talking about another important organism that is called the porifera, sorry, the sponges, or the porifera or the sponges. We have started a kind of series in discussing the different phyla found within the invertebrates. We've talked about protozoa, and we are here to talk about the porifera, after which we talk about the cnidaria, platyhelminths, and we go on from there. So when we talk about the porifera, the first thing that should come to mind is the word pori. Pori. It came from the word pore, and that pore means whole, Pore. So it means that this organism, also known as the sponges, have numerous pores on their body. Have has numerous pores. So that pore from the word pore, porifera was derived, showing that they have numerous pores on their body. And these numerous pores on their body are called the ossia. And this is where water and nutrients enter the body of this organism, and waste products leave through what is called the osculum. The osculum. Okay. Now, it is also important to also understand that substratum, that the adult organism, the mature ones, are sessile. The word sessile means that they are permanently attached to a substratum. You can see this substratum, a structure that helps in permanently fixing the adult one. Sorry, not the adult one, the adult uh, organism, because this is not a parasite, it's a free living organism. And of course, I didn't mention that they are mainly marine organism. It is also important you understand that this organism is multicellular. When we discussed protozoa, we talked about the fact that protozoa is unicellular, in the sense that all the organelles of this organism called protozoa are confined within a single cell. But in this case, this organism is not unicellular but multicellular. Even though it is multicellular, it is also important you know that the organization of these cells, or the tissue formed, are less organized. The tissue that is formed as a result of this, of course, you know that collection of cells form tissue, but this tissue is a less complex tissue, or less specialized tissue, as the case may be. And they don't have organ, they don't have system. And it's also important you know understand that they are made up of tough fibers, tough network of fibers that is called speckle. And these speckles kind of serve as the skeleton of this organism, so that they don't shrink. Kind of, look at how it stands, look at the structural representation of this organism. So the speckle or the skeleton kind of helps you to maintain this structure, just like the normal function of a skeleton. So it gives support to the organism. Then I've also mentioned the fact that okay, I think these are some of the basic characteristics of this organism called porifera. What else? What else? Okay, the body layers, It is okay. Before I talk about the body layers, let's talk about the reproduction in this organism. This organism can reproduce both sexually and asexually. The sexual reproduction, you know, is occurs through the release of sperm, which of course fertilizes the egg within the body of the organism. And it is also important you know that the sperm released by this organism could also be carried by water to fertilize another organism, another peripheral within that neighboring environment. It is also important you know that this organism is hermaphrodite. That means that both the male and the female sexual structures are produced within the same organism, the sperm and the egg. So, but for asexual reproduction, this organism can reproduce through fragmentation and budding. However, budding is the commonest method of reproducing asexually, and it can reproduce through the two different types of budding, internal budding and external budding. However, the most popular or prevalent in this organism is the external budding, And in the case of external budding, you discover that an outgrowth, a kind of grows on the parent body. And of course, once this outgrowth or bud, outgrowth, we call it outgrowth, outgrowth or bud. It kind of develops on the parent body. And by the time it develops, when it matures into adult, it can either remain attached to the host, forming what we call colony, forming what we call colony, or sometimes it can also detach itself from the parent body to live an independent life. Then another kind of burden that occurs in this organism is the internal burden. That's the internal burden. In this internal body, instead of the bud growing on the body of the on the I mean on the body of the parent body, on the outermost body of the parent organism, then it grows within the organism. And in this case, but this internal burden is not common. It only happens during adverse environmental conditions. Maybe there are so much, the temperature is high or the cold, there is high, too much cold. Then the organism may kind of develop this internal buzz, but the new sponges will not be formed until when the environment returns to normal. Then, of course, the new sponges will now be formed. So that is what happens in the case of budding in this organism. Then, of course, they have uh, they have these body layers or body cells. This is called three layers of cells. The body of sponge, the body wall contains three layers of cells. This is somehow dicey. But I mean, porifera is neither diploblastic or triploblastic. That's what we call triploblastic. Because of the uh, nature of the organization of the tissue is not fully mature, or it's not a complex one. It's not a complex tissue. It's not a very specialized tissue. So you discover that the organism do not have the normal body layers we have like in other advanced organisms like platyhelminthes. So the body wall has three different kind of cells. They are not they are not specifically said to be triploblastic, even though these three layers of cells are found within their body wall. We have the outer layer, which is called the pinacocyte. We have the inner layer, which is called the choanocyte, and we have the middle layer, which is called the mesoclere. So these layers are not well specialized like the mesoderm, the endoderm, and the ectoderm, and that is why they are given this name. So you will not confidently say that they have three germ layers or body layers like the mesoderm, the endoderm. So, but they have structures resembling them, or they have three different types of cells in their body wall, which looks like these other well specialized body layers, but they are not exactly the same because the tissues that are formed or are found within sponges are less complex or less specialized. So this is how far we can go in talking about sponges. See you in my next class.